Over the past few years, I've tried to bring attention to anomalous creatures, items and occurrences that have been happening all around the world. As information surrounding these strange phenomena have continued to grow, impossible to predict parallels have begun to surface, begging for a much deeper interpretation of reports and how they all connect. This has led to a new idea I've been working on this channel, and it's going to be known as the ACIO reports. These reports will feature an ACIO, an abbreviation of the term Anomalous Creatures, Items and Occurrences. These will include those that have captured the attention of our researchers of whom believe they can track, understand and research the theoretical makeup of such anomalous entities. Not only could this help to establish serious research efforts in fields otherwise completely ignored, but it would also help to propel the mystery of such entities into the forefront of natural science, growing our understanding of the world around us. So many times in the past have incredible characters claimed impossible creature sightings and other fantastic phenomena, facing the blunt criticisms of people claiming their information was far from factual, only to be proven legitimate later down the line, with none of the credit. An example of such a report was made surrounding an elusive creature known as the African unicorn, of which would later become a proven species now known as the okapi, that many researchers have denied the existence to within the Congo. Another example is the existence of the ether, proved by Nikola Tesla with his advancements in radio wave technology, only to have the name be recognized as the electromagnetic spectrum despite Nikola Tesla naming it the ether, for its ether properties and ancient magic references, an effort made to delegitimize his claims of mysticism. So today our first ACIO report will center around organism 46b. Before information surrounding organism 46b can be discussed, the environmental context to the investigation must be thoroughly identified. Reports of organism 46b area of habitation rest within that of Lake Vostok, located more than 700 feet beneath the glacial surface of the ice at its shallowest region, and roughly 2,600 feet at its deepest region. It's at this depth that the ice from the Antarctic glaciers are under enough pressure to melt and form deep lakes. It's within one of these deep lakes known as Lake Vostok that the creature known as organism 46b resides in. A supposedly leaked document surrounding the first attempts made by Russian researchers back on the 5th of February in 2012, while drilling to the lake's surface, made reference to the creature known as organism 46b. The report itself was titled Organism 46b, and detailed an incredibly bizarre story in which Russian researchers claimed to have encountered a massive colossal squid, and that this creature resided in the lake and could release toxins into the water, could squeeze itself down into small sizes, take on weird shapes, change its physical colours and could cause a mild form of hypnotism. This was if a person began to stare at the creature for too long. Here are quotes from the supposed letter written by a man named Dr. Anton Podolka. We encountered organism 46b on our first day. It disabled our radio, which we later learned to our alarm was intentional. It's also able to paralyze prey from a distance of up to 150 feet by releasing its venom into the water. Tragically, my colleague and lifelong friend was killed this way. He tread water wearing a blissful smile as the organism approached him. We watched helplessly as it used its arms to tear off its head, then popped its remains into its mouth. It was as if it hypnotized him telepathically. It shaped itself into the form of a human diver. We thought it was one of our colleagues swimming towards us in scuba gear. By the time the closest scientists had realized what it was, it grabbed him and tore him to bits. Some variations of the legend claim that one of the tentacles of the creature had been chopped off, but that the severed tentacle later reanimated and strangled another member of the team. The legend ends claiming there are few surviving members of the expedition and that Russian officials captured the creature and tried to cover it up. Fact-checking the story leads to a number of strange dead ends that come about in eras of documented factual events that otherwise should have been explored. Below is the complete timeline of the factual events of the Lake Vostok drilling expedition. Back in January of 2011, Russian scientists published a paper titled Vostok Subglacial Lake, Details of Russian Plans Activities for Drilling and Sampling. One of the scientists, Valery Lurkin, worked at the Russian Antarctic Expedition, Arctic and Antarctic Research Institute at St. Petersburg. The document detailed the first and only public plan for a Russian expedition into Lake Vostok. Below is a portion from the introduction of the paper surrounding the expedition. The Russian Federation has developed a national project involving the drilling and sampling of Vostok Subglacial Lake, East Antarctica. The objective is to explore this extreme icy environment, using a variety of techniques to identify the forms and level of life that exist there. The project is funded by the Russian Federal Service Roshydromet. During the time of the published paper, the Russian Federation had yet to receive support from other nations of the world, as their borehole efforts were actively going against the Antarctic Treaty, with the United Kingdom and the United States petitioning the Russian Federation against borehole techniques due to environmental impact of the sealed lake. Their opposition was due in part to the drilling techniques used by the Russian scientists, of which included the massive use of freon and kerosene. This was to act as a lubricant for the drilling equipment, of which would immediately drain into the lake at the point of connection. Despite the Antarctic Treaty violation, the Russian Federation continued with their efforts. Within the published paper titled Vostok Subglacial Lake Details of Russian Plans Activities for Drilling and Sampling, the scientists detailed a new piece of technology that would allow the borehole to use a transportation module that could be sent down into the borehole via new mechanisms and enter into the lake. The diagram for the technology claims that the module device in the borehole would only be 123mm in diameter, and impossible to send a diver into. However, given the secrecy of the project and the design used, such a technology could have been sealed up to send a research team into the borehole if made slightly larger. The technology also shows evidence of human-sized transportation modules, given that the module designs had a height and width that would scale to fit a human body in a cylindrical tube of a height 3 times the tube's width. By October 2011, Valery Lurkin, the co-author of the published paper, was at the Antarctic Research Station. The expedition continued for several weeks up until the end of December, before issues first arose amongst the expedition. The reasons for why Valery Lurkin first started his expedition in October of 2011 was due to October being the summer months for the Antarctic continent, keeping the location at its warmest for the expedition. These summer months only lasted from the beginning of October to February. However, after the 6th of February, the expedition must have been called off due to temperatures plummeting below 40 degrees Celsius. On the 28th of December, the Russian team claimed they had less than 5 meters left to drill before striking into the lake, and were confident they were to meet their goal before the end of the Antarctic summer months. It was shortly after this transmission, however, that the team would undergo a 6-day radio silence, and this was for reasons not entirely understood. The encounter with the organism 46b led to the reported deaths of several top-secret Russian researchers, and so many believe this is why the document could have been leaked as a warning to other researchers in the area. Despite the far-fetched abilities of organism 46b, reports appear to match the number of known cases of squid and octopus entities in the real world. In fact, every single ability mentioned by the letters the organism 46b might possess appear to match many of the abilities found in deep-sea species of cephalopods, and environments that would be similar to in light pressure and water quality to organism 46b. Below is a detailed writing surrounding the theoretical ability of telepathic traits within organism 46b, and how the ability could be scientifically explained. Understanding the creature's ability to perform telepathic ability is both difficult and nearly impossible, as the mechanisms for telepathy are still not entirely understood in the modern day. However, assumptions and data information surrounding numerous marine animals can be made as to what might be responsible for telepathic abilities in organism 46b. It's important to note there is evidence and scientific endeavours in the realm of neuroscience, and the ability to translate the neurons near random electrical pulses firing into readable information that can be displayed or understood. In fact, back in 1999, there was a research study by Dan Yang at the University of Berkeley, California that successfully recreated what a cat observes in the physical world. This was done using pure data retrieved from visual neurons. The implications of this finding means that if someone could create a technology so sensitive and accurate in picking up electromagnetic fields, or electrical stimuli, one could remotely detect these occurrences coming from the human brain, and work to gather the data required to translate your thoughts and brain signals into readable information. If we take this theory of data retrieval from the brains of animals via sensing electrical impulses and changes in the electromagnetic field, then there is evidence of evolution granting this ability amongst life here on Earth. Given the fact that organism 46b is expected to live its entire life in a completely dark underwater environment, it's possible that the species could have evolved a complex form of electroreception for its survival. Squids are one of the very few species in the world that can camouflage, and change the pigments of their skin so rapidly they can make a variety of colours. Additionally, the glass squid species is capable of using bioluminescence in a deep-sea environment. This is to stun fish and seemingly hypnotise them to be consumed. Given the depth and lack of light deep within the underground Lake Vostok, it's of a high probability that if large marine animals were to exist within the trapped lake, they would also possess evolutionary abilities to generate bioluminescence. Bioluminescence, tied with a squid's ability to alter the colour of their pigments of their skin, could create seizure-inducing colours and shapes that could temporarily cause an individual to become hypnotised, or undergo a seizure if looking directly at the creature. This could explain the hypnotic effects as reported in the leaked documents surrounding the creature. Given the lack of bones or large deposits of cartilage within an octopus, the species is capable of squeezing through small openings and shrinking their body down to impossible sizes. In fact, a 600-pound octopus is capable of pushing through its entire body through a hole the size of a coin, as long as an opening is large enough to allow the creature to fit its beak through. It will travel through the opening with relative ease. It's for this reason that the claim of the shape-shifting abilities of organism 46b are realistic to the species. Additionally, a borehole the size of 123mm would have been more than enough of a size to fit its body through if it was to make an attempt to reach the surface of the glacier. If the claims surrounding organism 46b are to be believed, the creature has the following abilities that have allowed it to take down individuals with an incredibly short span of time: shapeshifting, hypnosis, camouflage, colossal size, ability to shrink, telepathy, and large quantities of toxin. Given its danger and efforts needed to be contained by the Russian Federation as claimed by the leaked document, this could very well mean that organism 46b is one of the most dangerous creatures naturally living on planet Earth. Its ability to be weaponized for future efforts also seems to be a very real possibility given the claims of the leaked document, and other rumours that have surfaced surrounding the creature. For these reasons, organism 46b has been given a red status. So my question to you guys is, what do you make of this creature? And do you think Russian officials and scientists did encounter a mysterious squid-like creature below Lake Vostok? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.